Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and today I am going to be doing another foundation review, and I am going to be let's start again. Today I am going to be reviewing the new Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation. This has literally just been released last Wednesday. I am going to be giving you my full first impressions of this foundation, how it applies. I'm also going to be doing a full 8-hour wear test as well, so you can see how well it lasts on my skin. Just as a little disclaimer, I have normal to dry skin. At the moment it's more normal. When it gets to winter it gets more dry because of the cold air and all that, etc. So yeah, you've kind of got a brief idea of what my skin type is like. So if your skin is a little bit similar to mine and it's normal to the dry side, then you can see how well this lasts. I'm also going to be talking about the new supersized concealer that Makeup Revolution have also released. This is basically the Conceal and Define, just in a bigger size. Just a little reminder that if you are new to my channel, then don't forget to hit that little subscribe button if you haven't already, for more videos a little bit like this one, and make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you do end up enjoying it. If you want to know my first thoughts on these two new releases from Makeup Revolution, then just keep on watching. Okay, so like I did mention in the intro, today I'm going to be testing out the new Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation and also the supersized Conceal and Define. This is basically the same as the original Conceal and Define. The only difference is that you get around about 3 times more product in the supersized one than you do in the normal Conceal and Define. So I've just thought I'd use that with the foundation because these have both been launched at the same time, so they go quite well together. Please excuse the fact if I sound a little bit off in this video. I'm a little bit ill, I've got a little bit of a cold, and my ears are blocked, so yeah, just bear with me, okay? Basically, this is the Conceal and Define Foundation. Now, I've been so excited to test this ever since I first heard about it. Makeup Revolution did reveal this foundation around about 2 weeks ago. It reminds me so much of the Tarte Shape Tape foundation. A lot of people have said that the Conceal and Define is a drugstore dupe to Tarte Shape Tape, and I feel like they've done a foundation to also dupe that. The difference is, not spilling any tea, but this comes in so many more better shades than the Tarte Shape Tape does. The Revolution Conceal and Define does actually come in 24 shades, which is incredible for a drugstore brand. Makeup Revolution continue to prove that they are diverse for everyone, and they're affordable and they're cruelty free, and this product is also vegan as well. The campaign for this was also amazing. I watched it the other day and I did actually tweet about it, and basically it just included different genders, different skin types, different skin tones, different ages. Like, it was probably the most diverse campaign that I've seen from not only a drugstore brand but probably like cut brands this year. I think is amazing because if you think about it, this foundation only retails at £9, which is insane. I actually picked this up in the shade F1, and they do correlate to the Conceal and Define shade. So your shade C12 in the Conceal and Define, then the foundation would be F12 to match up. It does also match up with the fast-based foundation and the fast-based concealers as well. As for how much product you get in this foundation, you do actually get 23 milliliters of product in this foundation, which honestly isn't as much as most foundations. A lot of foundations that I own do have about 30 milliliters of product in them, which is enough, but bearing in mind this is only £9 and it's from the drugstore. I would have liked to have had more product in this foundation if I do end up liking it, but nevertheless, I mean, 23 mil isn't the worst in the world. It will probably last for quite a while, but like I did mention, most of my foundations range from about 25 to 30 mil, so just keep that in mind. In response to the packaging of this foundation, I actually haven't opened it yet, but I've watched a few videos on this foundation, so I do have a quick idea of kind of like what the foundation's like, what the packaging's like. I actually took packaging off very quickly. That never happens in my videos. It does come in like, it's like a glass sort of bottle, as you can tell, like a frosted glass sort of packaging. I think it's quite good. It does give the foundation more of like a high-end sort of packaging vibe, even though it was only £9. It does look exactly like the Conceal and Define concealer packaging. As you can see, they both have the rose gold tops on them and they both have the rose gold labels on them, so they're pretty much the same packaging wise, but obviously this one is a lot bigger. How you apply the foundation, which actually is the most disappointing thing for me about this foundation, is that it comes with like a little like spatula thing you kind of just paint on your face with. It does remind me of like a concealer packaging sort of thing, which I think they were going for because Tarte Shape Tape has pretty much the same sort of packaging as this. I really hope they do bring out one with a pump because personally that's my favourite kind of packaging. But nevertheless, it has like quite a big applicator with it, as you can see, so it's not the tiniest in the world and it probably will put quite a bit of product on your face at once. So I'm gonna go and give this a try and see how it goes. I'm really excited to use this and I really hope it doesn't let me down. So yeah, let's go and see. Okay, so I've just brought you forward a little bit more so you can see my face a little bit better. Oh my gosh, I'm sure I'm getting more blind. Like genuinely, normally I could see my viewfinder without my glasses on, but I can't see anything. Like, this is going to be a fun video because I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing. Good one, Becca. But nevertheless, I'm going to apply the foundation to my face. But before I do that, I'm going to do what I normally do with pretty much every single foundation video. I've done quite a few of these foundation testing videos now, and I kind of enjoy doing it because it not only gives you a chance to see what the foundation's like word test wise, but it gives me a chance to see how well it lasts on my normal to dry skin as well. So I kind of can see how well foundations last for me and how good they are. So like any other foundation video, I'm going to actually prime my face first. I'm going to prime my face using my Nip and Fab primer. I never hear anyone talking about this and I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure every time I use this primer my foundation etc lasts a little bit longer than other primers. I actually really like it. I like how it feels on my skin and it's so affordable as well. Nip and Fab are another good brand that I've kind of grown towards. I think they're up and coming. They'll definitely have products coming out soon and I'm kind of running out of this primer, so yep. I also haven't done my eyebrows before I do this video, which is a big thing for me because I always do my eyebrows before my foundation. Just thought I'd let you know just in case you were like, hold on Becca, you normally do your brows first. But it's okay. Now we're gonna go into the main event. If I give you a little swatch at the back of my hands, just so you can kind of see what the colour's like. It is pretty much exactly like my Conceal and Define. I actually do use Conceal and Define in 0.5 now because they've brought out extra types. But when it first was released, I did actually use it in this shade, which is F1. This is basically what the foundation looks like, pretty much exactly like the Conceal and Define, just in foundation form. That blends quite nicely. That is like alright. From my hand, actually blended okay, so hopefully it will blend quite well on my skin as well. Now I'm finally going to stop rambling and I'm just going to get into applying the foundation. So I'm going to do one side with my beauty blender and one side with my brush like I would normally do, just so you can see which one blends better. Normally has a better coverage with a brush with pretty much every single foundation that I've done a testing video on. However, I do prefer using beauty blenders and I feel like if it's a good coverage foundation as it is, then I will use a beauty blender because I just feel more comfortable using one. I think I'm going to do this side with my brush and this side with my beauty blender. It scares me a little bit because this is like gigantic, so I'm like, I'm just going to paint it on. I'm just going to go through half my face. I don't know how much to put on. I've heard it's quite good coverage. Not that much product is going on my face at one time though. That's the only thing I'll probably say. Whereas a pump you can get quite a lot. I'm just going to roll with it. So I'm going to blend this side in with my brush. Okay, so that actually has alright coverage. Like, I feel like they did advertise it as a buildable foundation as well, but I feel like that is good enough on its own. It doesn't actually feel mega matte on me, which is a good thing because I was petrified that it would be really matte, because in the winter when my skin gets really dry, it doesn't take very well to matte foundations. You can definitely see a difference. Like, I'm lucky because I don't struggle that much with like spots or blemishes or anything. You could definitely see a difference. Like, it's more evened out on this side and it has a lot more of a flawless finish, whereas that side, which is my natural skin tone type, it just brings everything together really nicely. And like, you can even see here the difference between the coverage. That is actually a really nice foundation. Obviously, like, I used F1 in the concealer, so I knew that this would pretty much be an okay colour match because I use this in Fast Base as well. So I'm going to go through to the other side and I'm going to use this side with my beauty blender. I do like quite a good coverage foundation. Overall, I really don't like this applicator. I feel like it doesn't apply the product as well as I would like it to. Whereas, like I said, if I used a pump, I'd feel a lot more comfortable with it because I know how much I'm using. But nevertheless, we're going to go in and blend it out with my beauty blender. Okay, Okay, so coverage wise, I feel like the two sides are pretty much similar. I would say that the brush side had a little bit more coverage because my under eyes are a lot more covered than this side, but there's really not that much difference whatsoever. I actually don't mind this foundation. I think it's actually given a really nice coverage. Like, it isn't mega matte. This actually feels really comfortable on my skin, and I don't feel like it looks cakey whatsoever either. Moving on to the product in this concealer. This is the original Conceal and Define, the little baby one, and then this is the Mummy Conceal and Define, I guess. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to call it like a little family. You can see the size difference in this, but the most interesting thing is the original Conceal and Define, which is this one here, comes with 4 grams of product. The problem a lot of people were having, and including me, was that they ran out so quickly, and because they were sold out pretty much everywhere, it was hard to stock up on this concealer, which is why Makeup Revolution brought out this one, which is the super size version of the Conceal and Define. This comes with 13 grams of product. So this is like over 3 times the amount of product that's in the original one, and this is only £7. So for £3 more, you can get this one with 3 times more product than this one. Next up, I'm going to apply this to my face, and I'm just going to brighten everything. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, I used the Conceal and Define in 0.5 because it brightens it up. It is quite pink toned though, which I'm not really the biggest fan of, but it's really light for me and it does a great job of brightening everything up. See what I mean? There's not a lot of concealers that brighten my eyes as much as this one does. Next up, I'm going to go and powder my face, just set everything in place and make sure that it stays for the rest of the day. I'm going to stick to the Makeup Revolution theme that's going on because I have actually started to like this powder quite a lot actually. So this is the Revolution Lace Powder. The only problem with this is that it's a loose powder, as you can see, so it does get a little bit messy. Actually, not a little bit, it does get a lot messy. But it's probably the best powder to use when it comes to setting my face in place. I have also gone back to using my beauty blender to powder under my eyes and stuff, and I feel like it just works so much better. So I'm gonna powder my face. I'm gonna get this all over my jogger bottoms. Oh, there we go. Ugh, powder everywhere. That is set really nicely in place. I actually really do like that powder. And I think it's like £6 as well, and it's pretty much light enough for my skin tone. This is what the foundation looks like after powdering, doing my concealer. Once again, it doesn't feel really matte on my face. Like, it just feels really comfortable. It's not majorly sticky. Like, the problem that I had with the Fast Base foundation, that it was just so sticky, and no matter how much I powdered it, it just like kept being sticky, and it got quite drying over the day. This is a close-up of it on my skin. It's done really well when it comes to like coverage. Like, it's a pretty good coverage foundation for only £9. What I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna do the rest of my face off camera. I'm gonna make sure that after I've done that, I'm gonna set everything in place using my NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray, just to be 100% honest. So this is pretty much like any other one of my foundation reviews. So yeah, I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and then I will be right back. Just gonna do my hourly check-in. So this foundation has now been on for just over an hour. So far, it's looking okay. It hasn't sunk into my smile lines that much, which foundations normally do quite badly. It's creased a little bit on my forehead when I was doing my makeup, but only a tiny weeny little bit. It's creased a little bit under my eyes there, but that's probably the concealer as well, because the concealer does tend to crease under my eyes a little bit anyway. Yeah, it does feel really nice. Like, it feels really comfortable on my skin, and I still think it looks quite nice as well. Like, I wouldn't mind going out like this. I only had it on for an hour, so I'll check in with you in another couple of hours and we'll see how it was wearing. I'm back with another check-in. I've now had this on for 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. So it's currently 3:30 and this is what it's looking like. It actually, like, I've been thinking about it and doesn't feel that bad actually. Some foundations can feel really cakey. It doesn't feel massively cakey on my skin. Like, it's still quite matte, but it's not really matte. I'd say that the finish is more of a semi-matte finish as opposed to like fully matte. As you can see, it's creased around my forehead here when I've been frowning. That normally happens with a lot of foundations. You can see with my smile lines here that it's sunk into my smile lines a little bit. Still looks really nice. Like, I know it's only been on for 3 hours and most foundations still look good after 3 hours, but it pretty much does look really good. Also, another thing is, the good thing about the Makeup Revolution foundations is they don't tend to oxidize either. Yeah, it still looks really good 3 hours on. This is my 5 hours check-in. I've had this on for over 5 hours now, and this is what it's looking like. Not looking too bad, to be honest. I feel like it still feels alright. Ignore the lipstick that's coming off. I've had it on all day and I can't be bothered to take off because I don't want to ruin the foundation, so I'm going for an ombre lip. However, I have noticed a small little tiny bit about this foundation. So here on below my nose, it's starting to crack a little bit around my nose at this side here. Also on my forehead at the top there, it's cracking a little bit. Once again, my smile lines still look okay. Like, I haven't even brushed my smile lines or repowdered or anything. Like, this is still the same from this morning. So yeah, it doesn't actually look that dry. It doesn't feel that drying. It feels a little bit dry on my cheeks, but that's pretty much it. Overall, I still think it looks okay though. Like, as opposed to how it looks and how it feels, I think 5 hours on, it's still a good one. Just another little update. This is what the foundation looks like after having it on for 7 hours. As you can see, around here, it is broken up quite bad and it's really sunk into my smile lines now. It's also broke up around my nose area here and around my chin here. So pretty much this whole area, once again, is pretty much where it's clung to the dry patches. It doesn't actually look that bad. Like, it doesn't feel that bad on my skin, and although it has broken up around this area here, overall it still looks quite airbrushed and quite nice. For a £9 foundation, I've definitely had worse. I've definitely had matte foundations or semi-matte foundations that have also done worse than this has. So overall, I still think it looks alright. I'm just kind of a little bit gutted about how much is broken up around here, but like I did mention, it's not as bad as some other foundations have been. Okay, so I am back for my last check-in for this foundation. So it has now been on for 8 hours because it's now 8:30. This is what it's looking like. Not looking too bad, but it's not looking the best. Like I did mention before, it's very dry around here and around here. Also, it feels rather quite dry on my cheeks as well, especially up in this area here and round here. It's not the worst in the world, but you can still tell that it's clinging to dry patches. As for how it looks, it doesn't actually look that bad. I think it's just how it feels. It does feel like it's been on for quite a while. There are definitely better foundations, but most of the better foundations are high end, and like I did mention, this is drugstore, so it's kind of like weighing up a little bit. I would definitely probably use it more as an everyday foundation. Like, you can tell that the coverage is still really good. It still has like a nice airbrush sort of look. The only thing is, it has started to sink into my smile lines a lot around here and also cling to my dry patches. So overall, it's a good foundation. I'm just kind of disappointed about how drying it's turned out to be. Okay, so that was my review, wear test and first impressions of the new Makeup Revolution foundation. This is the Conceal and Define foundation, and I will leave the link to where you can buy this in the description bar below. It's now sold on Superdrug, and as far as I know, it's also on Revolution Beauty. Like I did mention, this does come in 24 shades, so if you like what you saw, then feel free to go check it out. It will be in the description bar below. I really hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to smash it a big massive thumbs up, and also make sure to hit that little subscribe button. If you haven't already, make sure you do also tap that little bell down below so you are notified every single time I post a new video. As always, all my social media links will also be linked right down below, so if you want to keep up to date with me and follow me, then feel free to. Once again, thank you so incredibly much for watching, and hopefully I will see you on my next video. Bye!